The Houston Rockets traded Chris Paul for one play. This all comes down to one play, right? You know, the Houston Rockets are as aggressive an organization we've seen in recent time. Daryl Morey is running ship over there, and he's aggressive. You know, he wouldn't deny it. He's a super aggressive GM. You know what happens when you base your business off analytics, right? I'm pretty sure as an analytical person, you see highs that are unfathomable. But I think in the back of your mind, when you see a low, it like literally makes you do the craziest thing in the world. Think about it, Instagram, right? A lot of people are obsessed with numbers, with their likes and everything on Instagram. It's literally making people change their face, change their nose, go get an ass job done, boob job. Literally, guys out there, literally photoshopping abs on them, right? Like, literally, it's making people do uncharacteristic things, split-second decisions that will last a lifetime. I think that's what happened to the Houston Rockets. They got a boob job. Anyway, one play is the reason why Chris Paul is an Oklahoma City Thunder right now and probably is about to get traded again. I will always remember this moment. It is, to me, this is a moment in NBA history. The Houston Rockets taking on the Golden State Warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rockets, if I'm not mistaken, they win back-to-back games in that series versus the Warriors, right? The Warriors coming off of winning the championship, looking for number 2 with Kevin Durant. We're in the Western Conference Finals. It is Game 5, ladies and gentlemen. And I looked up and I told one of my partners, one of my close friends, bro, the Warriors are defeated. I'm looking at Kevin Durant. I'm looking at Chris Paul. I'm looking at Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Steph and some of these other guys. They're defeated. You can see it on it. I'm looking at Steve Kerr. He's defeated. Like, the Rockets, I think better than anyone, and obviously the Raptors won a ring. They beat the Warriors in the finals. But the Raptors benefited from injuries. To me, the only team in the last 3 or 4 years to figure out the Golden State Warriors was the Houston Rockets 2 years ago. 2018 NBA playoffs, 2 playoffs ago. The Rockets legit figured out the Warriors. They had them. We were heading to a Game 6 in Golden State where I honestly believe the Rockets were going to close that thing out. But you know who was controlling that series? It was not James Harden, the MVP to beat. It was the veteran point guard, Chris Paul. He was twaxing the Warriors. You want to know what he was doing? He was putting his guys in positions to win. And that injury that happened in the closing seconds of Game 5, that groin injury or the hamstring injury, that literally will change Chris Paul's legacy forever. You see, if he doesn't get injured, I believe with everything in me, I put my last dollar on the Rockets winning that thing in 6. If not in 6, they definitely win in 7. Let me tell you something. If Chris Paul's on your roster, you for damn sure don't miss 20-something three-pointers in a row in Game 7, which is what the Rockets did versus the Warriors on their Houston home court. James Harden, when he loses, it's a bad loss. He's had some of the worst losses in closeout games in NBA history. Wanna know why? He's not a leader like that. That's Chris Paul's job, right? That injury made James Harden a leader, and I just don't think that dude has that in him. Phenomenal talent, all-time talent. Doesn't know how to communicate with his guys. We ain't homies right now. I'm leader. I'm Papa in this ship. I don't think he turns that on correctly. And with that being said, I think that one hamstring injury, groin injury, changed Chris Paul's career. If the Rockets make it to the NBA Finals just once, I think the Rockets ride it out with Chris Paul's contract. As aggressive as Daryl Morey is, if Chris Paul and the Rockets get to the finals to face, by the way, a depleted Cleveland Cavalier team, it was LeBron James and whatever he could get from game to game from Kevin Love, J.R. Smith. I mean, the Cavs lost in 5 games to the Warriors, right? Right? They actually got swept. They got swept, actually. Right? Like, the Rockets would have felt good about beating the Cavs. And I'm pretty sure LeBron would have felt good going against James Harden and Chris Paul. But the favorite would have been the Houston Rockets after beating the defending NBA champions. So, if the Rockets win a ring, you gotta believe they ride it out with Chris Paul and James Harden for the duration of Chris Paul's contract. You gotta believe that. They might tweak some pieces. They might trade a Clint Capella. They ain't trading Chris Paul. That injury has changed his career. That's changed Chris Paul's career. He might be a guy for the last few years of his career that is bounced around the league just because his contract is such a big deal. I could easily see CP3 going to Miami in a couple days, being there for a year. It doesn't work out. Every team's not making it to the NBA Finals. All right, we talk about all these really good teams in the West and how Milwaukee and Philadelphia is expected to kind of assert themselves atop the East. Well, somebody's got to lose for some of these other teams to win. So somebody's got to be bad. And Chris Paul and Jimmy Butler, it ain't the best. So point I'm trying to make is that injury to me has affected so many things in Chris Paul's legacy. And unfortunately for him, I think the worst is yet to come. He is about to hop around that league, man. I feel it coming, man. Hate it for CP3. I know he wants to continue playing the game that he loves, but teams look at him as water goods, never been able to get to the hump. He doesn't have a lot working for his resume right now in regards to championship experience. A lot of who he used to be, not who he is right now. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yeah, we locked in right now, Mr.
Taliaferro.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr. Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.